But that is, who knows if it's ever going to happen. I mean, Mike has ulcers. He's a
The
58-year-old
most
man
old
with
man thing
ulcers.
ever to get out of the fight.
We understand all that. This is where I'm going to throw people a curveball. First of all, he's actually fighting a guy who finally, I know he's much older than him, but is naturally the bigger guy. Because Paul fights at about cruiserweight, 190. So this guy's naturally the bigger guy. He's fighting a legendary, iconic fighter. A guy who was one of the greatest punchers in heavyweight history, one of the greatest punchers ever with either hand, and one of the greatest combinations of speed and power. Yeah, he's 58 years old. Yeah, the end of his career wasn't too good before he got out. But one of the last things that go with a fighter is his power.
But that is who knows if it's ever going to happen. I mean, Mike has ulcers. He's a 58-year-old man. Ever to get out of the fight, Joe Rogan has just destroyed Jake Paul after he quit the Mike Tyson Fight Iron Mike, who remains the youngest man to ever clinch the heavyweight title, is now 57 years old. Many believe his upcoming fight against 27-year-old YouTuber turned fighter Paul is in poor taste. During an interview on the Breakfast Club, Oscar De La Hoya, a 6'8" champion turned promoter, described the fight as a money grab. He argued that if Paul truly wants to be taken seriously in the sport, this isn't the path he should pursue. De La Hoya said, "I love Mike Tyson, man. I don't want to see him get hurt. This is what I tell Jake Paul, the way you claim in W to be world champion. It's not taking this route and fighting Mike Tyson." He further added, "Yet you're going to make a lot of money, sell a lot of tickets, and attract a lot of new fans, which is great. But if you want to take the sport seriously and be world champion, go fight a top 2010 fighter, be a contender, and win a world title. Take the tough road. The way we did this route here, it's a money grab." Which is all good despite all that. De La Hoya stopped short of predicting a Paul victory, instead relying on Tyson's legendary power to endure through the year. De La Hoya said one punch from Tyson can end it all, and Tyson's looking like a beast right now. Former boxing trainer turned analyst Teddy Atlas also delivered a brutal warning ahead of the fight on his podcast. Atlas, who collaborated with Tyson in the formative years of his career, claims that Tyson, even at 58, will continue to possess his notorious power in the ring. Atlas mentioned that he was planning to surprise people by his comments. He added that he was excited to see Paul fight someone naturally bigger. He pointed out that Paul typically fights at cruiserweight around 1990 ulls, while Mike Tyson is naturally the bigger guy. Atlas highlighted that Tyson is a legendary, iconic fighter known as one of the greatest punchers in heavyweight history, combining speed and power. Although Tyson is going to be 58 years old soon, and his career ended on a less impressive note, Atlas emphasized that a fighter's power is one of the last things to diminish. We understand all that. This is where I'm going to throw people a curve. First of all, he's actually that guy who finally, I know he's much older than him, but is naturally the bigger guy, because Paul fights at about cruiserweight 190. So this guy's naturally the bigger guy. He's fighting a legendary, iconic fighter, the last a guy who was one of the greatest punchers in heavyweight history, one of the greatest punchers ever with either hand, and one of the greatest combinations of speed and power. Yeah, he's 58 years old. Yeah, the end of his career wasn't too good before he got out, but one of the last things that go with a fighter is his power. Paul might have made a mistake, according to Atlas, and there is more risk than gain. Atlas added that he believed this fight could be very dangerous for Paul and might be a mistake to take on Tyson. He remarked that aside from money, which Paul has already made plenty of, there isn't much benefit for Paul in winning. If Paul wins, people would attribute it to Tyson being 58 years old. And if he loses, they would criticize him for losing to someone of that age. According to Atlas, Jake Paul has a lot more to lose than Tyson in this fight. I think this is a very dangerous fight for Paul. Interesting. I think he might be making a mistake, because first of all, for me, he don't got a lot other than money. And he's made plenty of money. There's not a lot to winning on his side. Because if he wins, they say he's 58 years old, you know that's right. And if he loses, they say he's 58 years old, you lose to a 58-year-old guy for me. He's got a lot more to lose than Tyson. Oh, for sure, a lot more. I mean, Tyson, you know, whatever they're paying him. He's been making good money, you know. He's come back, like I said, in his life. He's done a good job. Atlas further added that if there is no agreement, Jake Paul might be making a mistake. As the risk might outweigh the reward, he expressed surprise that Paul is willing to take this risk. Atlas noted that power doesn't disappear with age and Tyson still possesses speed and combinations. Without an agreement, it would be a particularly dangerous and risky fight for Paul, especially in the early rounds, as Tyson would come out aggressively. Actually said, I wonder if there's an agreement, because if there's no agreement, Paul might be making a mistake. Now look, he's like who would have hit Tyson, 58 years old, reaching him with a left H, hit him on a chin. And had to knock him out. Tyson was knocked out a couple times at the end of his career, before he was 58. And then people are going to say, oh wow, look at Paul. And it'll wind up being a genius move. But I think the risk might be greater than the reward. I am really surprised in that way. I think I laid out all scenarios of the possibilities. But I am surprised that Paul's taking his risk. I don't know if it's because of his confidence, or he just really does feel Tyson is that much, you know, obviously, that deteriorated at this point in his life, where he could handle it. On the other hand, Jake Paul's new training video has impressed fans as he prepares to face Mike Perry. And later, Mike Tyson, the YouTube sensation, has his next two bouts set, starting with a clash against former UFC fighter Perry on July 20th, followed by a rescheduled match with Tyson on November 15th. In preparation for his hectic schedule, he started working out at his Puerto Rican gym. He has shared videos of himself using the pads on social media. Private school Perry time to go back to school at Walmart. In a brief but forceful outburst, Paul broke the coach's pads, matching earlier footage that opponent Tyson had shared. The fans were delighted by his skills as he proceeded to crack open the hefty bag with some venom. One wrote in the comments, Jake proved he can box now. I genuinely want him to do good. A fan continued, looking sharp. I'd be nervous if I were Perry. But he doesn't have nerves, so keep grinding, my brother. Another said, I'm torn between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, because they both are really good boxers. However, one claimed, bro, it's cake to knock out a smaller opponent, especially when it's 40+ pounds smaller. Knock somebody out your size, and then we will be impressed. A more pessimistic viewer suggested very stiff and slow beatable. No world champion. Paul believes that a successful 2024-2 victories from the fights will increase his improbable prospects of winning the World Boxing Championship. The problem child decided to choose a substitute for Tyson, who had to pull out due to an ulcer flare-up. To stay active this summer, Perry, an accomplished bare-knuckle boxer with 5 victories under the Bic banner, will be making his debut in conventional boxing. Furthermore, the influencer acknowledged that by meeting Perry in the squared circle, he is taking a chance. He said, I think this fight is going to have some amazing press conference moments and really entertaining stuff that comes from it. But it is a major risk. I'm literally potentially sacrificing the biggest moment of my career, the biggest payday of my career, if I lose to Mike Perry. But for some reason, these are the positions that I like to put myself in. Paul says he will take the sport seriously and has improved significantly over the course of his career. In February 2023, the social media sensation faced his toughest challenge yet and was defeated by Tommy Fury. However, he quickly recovered and secured a victory against former UFC star Nate Diaz. In the midst of a bustling schedule, he eagerly anticipates speaking on seasoned boxers, expressing particular interest in confronting rising star Nico Ali Walsh, who boldly asserted turning down a lucrative offer to fight Paul. Moreover, in his relentless preparation to face the iconic Iron Mike Tyson later this year, Jake Paul engages in verbal sparring with the legendary boxer. The problem child strategically seeks a psychological edge, questioning fans about his ability to halt the former undisputed heavyweight champion. Paul, boasting a career win rate of 90%, slightly edges out Tyson's 86%, however. His undercover mission to gauge fan opinions didn't quite pan out as planned. The majority of the public chose to overlook the disguised YouTuber. Interestingly, only one passerby stopped to respond when Paul inquired about the likely winner at the Dallas Cowboys' NFL home turf. The answer was straightforward: Mike Tyson. She said, however, he also caught the attention of 3 young girls who recognized him. Do you think he's going to win the fight, Jake Paul or Mike Tyson? No, 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 Paul, no, it's not, no, it's not, no. It's not Jake Paul or Mike Tyson. A freak, yeah, screw that Jake Paul kid, at least he smells good. Due to an ulcer flare-up during a flight, Tyson and his opponent were forced to reschedule their July 20th bout to November. However, this date might change pending Tyson's health evaluation by the authorities. To determine his readiness for competition, Paul engaged the bustling crowd at Walmart, firing off questions as he unveiled his newest entrepreneurial endeavor, a mineral-rich deodorant, meticulously crafted to be free from artificial additives. Paul captivated the lively Walmart crowd, igniting their curiosity with a barrage of questions, while introducing his latest entrepreneurial venture, a mineral-enriched deodorant, meticulously formulated to exclude any artificial additives. Paul said, announcing the product, "I truly have poured my heart and soul for the past 2 years into creating this mission to change men's care products forever." Meanwhile, Jake Paul